What to watch for Thursday night's Valero Alamo Bowl, 9 o'clock on ESPN between Baylor and Washington. Could be RG3's final college game. He could leave early for the NFL. Will he try to cap his Heisman Trophy winning season by leading the Bears to their first bowl win since 1992? Now, RG3 hopes to avoid a trend. With the exception of Cam Newton last season, recent Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks have not enjoyed happy endings to their seasons. Newton didn't have a vintage performance in last year's BCS national title game, but it was good enough to win. Sam Bradford, Tim Tebow, Troy Smith all lost their bowl games that season. So there is no denying there is a Heisman hangover. They call it the banquet scene, a little bit too much on the banquet scene. Now it's RG3's turn going against Washington. Do you envision the Heisman hangover?
I don't envision the Heisman hangover, but I'm not so sure that you're going to see a ton of plays being made from Robert Griffin through the air. If you look at Washington against USC and against Stanford, the two best teams they played, they held both Matt Barkley and Andrew Luck to under 200 yards passing, but gave up a combined 698 yards on the ground. So what you might see out of Robert Griffin is a lot of plays with his legs. Now, Robert Griffin, keep in mind, he's engineered a 5-game win streak in which they're averaging 587 yards a game, 46 points a game, guys. 31 touchdowns and only 16 punts for Baylor. So to sustain that type of production, that type of execution, surrounded by all the hype and the exposure and the intention of winning the Heisman Trophy, I think the focus is the challenge for Baylor and Robert Griffin.
What he gives Washington is a different look than they've seen this year. A more athletic, just unbelievable guy that you can't just practice against someone in practice and then expect to be ready for RG3. What kind of game do you envision?
Well, I think Lugs is absolutely right. You look at this Washington team. Just in that Stanford game, they gave up 446 yards rushing. So certainly they've got some problems stopping the run. But it's not just RG3. Terrence Ganaway, the running back there at Baylor, really a very underrated player. Almost 1,350 yards this season, 16 touchdowns, averaged almost 6 yards a carry. This could be the real problem for Washington in this one. Of course, Baylor, they're going to have some problems themselves trying to stop Chris Polk and Price there at Washington, but I think Washington's really going to struggle to slow down Ganaway and RG3. RG3, let's not forget, ran for almost 650 yards himself this season.
Well, I think we all agree that this thing will be a pinball match. I mean, this scoreboard is going to get lit up. It's going to be electric, but it will be fun to watch. If you like offense, certainly it will be fun to watch. And anytime you get RG3 going in a game like that, that, of course, is why he won the Heisman after all.